Hello, America, and welcome back to another episode of To Hear Me Tell It, the life and times of Jerry Daniels. When you've had your daily dose of today's craziness, dealing with all them Karens out there, ride shotgun with old JD as he goes back and recounts the life and times of growing up in the South during the 60s and 70s. I believe we were called baby boomers. Stories that you will say, yep, I done that, but I ain't gonna tell my kids, and I ain't never told my spouse. But whatever the truth be, it will be this, to hear me tell it.
Well, good morning, folks, and welcome to another late, I know, I get it, a late episode of To Hear Me Tell It. Man, it's been a busy week. So much for being retired. And, I was overcome by events Wednesday. I was overcome by events Thursday. And here it is Friday. And I'm a bit rushed today, but I'm going to get it done and get it out. Because I have an obligation. I'm committed. Okay, good morning each and all. Woo, it's a little bit brisk up here in North Georgia. It was 31 or 30 degrees here at the house this morning. I want to start by saying, yes, I'm wearing an undershirt. I got hot. I just got finished working. And it's 11 o'clock in the morning here. It's Friday. It's the 12th of December. And my lovely bride got in the car and drove to Chattanooga to go spend a weekend with our daughter. Now, that's a girl that's retired. She is retired. But I got up early this morning, and I'm dealing with the chickens. We're going to talk about the chickens. So I've been working in the coop, and I had on a sweatshirt, and I got damn hot. So I took the sweatshirt off and came up to my office, a.k.a. studio, to speak to you nice folks. So let's talk about the chickens. I have never dealt. This is, first of all, I think y'all all know this. Let me back up. Thank you to all those who watch and listen and share. Thank you. And my great friend, Christy Dunn Barrow, I'm just going to call her Christy Dunn. That's what I know her as. But my great friend, Christy, that I grew up with, she lived across the street. We graduated high school together. She sent me a note. She said, I would love to hear the story about how you met your wife and y'all got married. Christy, I will do that, but I won't do it today. There is a story there, that's for damn sure. But I'll do that. I even told my wife, I said, Christy Dunn wants me to share a story how I met you. And then, how X amount of months later we met again, and then how 5 years later we got married. So, yeah, I met my wife, and about 6 to 7 months later, I met her again. And then 5 years later, we got married. So, yeah, there's a story there for sure. But anyway, so the chickens, it's cold. I'm doing the right things for keeping them warm, keeping them fed. I mean, I clean. It's not like I'm some Superman because I don't know anything about. I'm just learning as I go along, kind of like the bees. I had them for 4 years. I learned as I went along, and I did get mentors and coaches, and read a lot of books, and watched a lot of videos, joined a group, joined a Facebook group, and all that crap. But chickens require daily attention where bees did not require daily attention. But there are days when I was in the beehives when it was 95 degrees, and I'm out there in that hive with that suit on, trying not to get stung. And I'd be out there for hours, almost a heat stroke or heat exhaustion. It was bad. But anyway, so chickens, in my opinion, there's maybe some folks go, well, Jerry, I don't do that every day. Well, okay, well, I don't know how to do it. I'm just doing what I do and what I think I know to be do because I bought a book and I stayed at a Holiday Inn Express. So there. But the chickens, in my opinion, require daily care, which makes going out of town a pain in the butt because they got to hire somebody to come and take care of the chickens. So anyway, so much for being retired. So I just keep looking at myself on the screen. I'm like, damn, that's a old white. I'm jacked up, ain't I? That's all right. Y'all make comments if the white T-shirt bothers you. Get over it. All right. But the chickens require daily care, in my opinion. So I clean the chicken coop every day If not every day, every other day, max. Because I don't think the chickens need to be walking around in all their shit and getting all the, the ammonia on their feet and everything. I do clean their roosting beams and roosting bars, I guess you call them. I clean them every damn day. Because at a minimum, that's what I'll get that clean, and I clean their little ladder that they go upstairs, or what do you want to call it, the ramp that's got the cleats on it. I clean that every day. I just think it's the right thing to do. And then I check their water and I check their food. The water's fresh. I rotate it and clean it on a regular basis, like every 3 days maybe. It just looks dirty, so I clean it and I start over. I buy them quality feed. By the way, I just got 2 40-pound bags of feed for them. So that's 80 pounds. Let me do the math. I'm going to bring up the damn calculator because I looked at the invoice, and I probably shouldn't have done that, but I looked at the damn invoice. So I'm going to do the math here. Divided by 80. 80 pounds is what came in the mail. I pay $1.65 a pound. $1.65. So for 80 pounds of feed, which they will go through pretty quick, cost me $132. So anybody that buys my eggs say, well, damn, Jerry, your eggs are expensive. I'm like, I buy good feed. So at least I think I do. All right. So I keep everything clean, everything sanitary. I do them a lot of attention. I look at them, I inspect them for their health, mites, whatever. Their nest boxes are clean. I don't let them get dirty or nothing. But I noticed earlier this week, one of my Australorps, her vent area, butt, a.k.a. ass. But, the chicken's only got one hole, and everything happens in that one hole, and it's called the vent. But it looked like all the feathers around it were starting to be, somebody's plucking them out, and then her little top of her vent was kind of swollen, and it's got a scab on it. It was bleeding, and I thought, oh my gosh. So I looked at it the next day. It wasn't getting no better, so I separated her, isolated her. I put her in a pen in the garage. Now, and Laura reminded me this morning before she left. She goes, the garage smells like chicken shit again. I said, yeah, it does. You're right. So there. So I isolated her and started treating it, but I soaked her in a bath of Epsom salt and cleaned it real good. And man, I got in there with I had gloves on obviously, but I cleaned it. She didn't like she was in pain, and she laid an egg 2 consecutive days in a row. And I cleaned it real good and putting like a triple antibiotic cream on it and stuff. And then I noticed yesterday a damn another one has got it. And I thought, oh my gosh. And it's one of my golden comets. And so I let them out yesterday, but I spent a lot of time just sitting in a pen watching them. And I got this one Australorp, and he's the one that's going behind them and picking at it. So chickens become little freaking cannibals, and they can become pretty damn ugly. So I don't know if it's just cannibalism, because I got this one chicken, he's got the taste of blood, or it's what they call gleet, G-L-E-E-T, and I don't see any foul discharge. I don't smell anything. They don't seem like they're in pain. They're not egg bound, not that I can tell. Now this one Australorp that I've already separated, she did not lay an egg yesterday at all, but I did see her in her little isolation box. I put her nest in there. She was in the nest, and it's in the middle of the day, so hopefully she's laying an egg. But I checked her this morning and cleaned her little area again, and never thought I'd be doing this shit at 63, but I love learning. Anyway, I got my gloves on, I got the stuff, and I'm cleaning, and I'm doctoring her up, and I'm pushing all around her lower abdomen and all that kind of stuff, see if she's egg bound, which I don't even know what the hell that feels like. I just read it and watched a video. So anyway, and I talked to her. Anyway, so she's in a cage in the garage by herself, and like on day 2, I went out there, and she sounds pitiful, y'all. This old chicken. Her name is Curly May. So, and Curly May's my girl, man. But anyway, Curly May, I walk out there and she stands up and she's like, blah, blah, blah. She sounds pitiful. She's lonely. I mean, they're flock creatures. And she knows she's not with her flock, and she's isolated. And that probably adds stress to her life, And I'm thinking, well, shit, she ain't going to lay no egg out here because she's all stressed because she's by herself. So I'm in the den telling Laura about how, telling her about how pitiful this chicken sounds. And Laura goes, what? You had to have been there. Laura goes, well, why don't you play some soft music for her? And Laura and I have been married going on 39 years. I looked at her and I said, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. You don't play no damn music for a chicken. So what does Laura do? About 5 minutes or 4 minutes, 3 minutes, whatever, a very short period of time, she whips out her phone and she holds it up. She goes, well, maybe you should read more about chicken stress. I said, well, maybe I should, smarty pants. And all of a sudden, she's the chicken expert, but she don't want to do nothing with them. So she shows me this article, and it talks about smooth music lowers their stress and calms them. So what did I do? I go get a radio. I put it in the garage, and I turn it on Atlanta 101.1 Jazz. So my chicken, Miss Curly, who's recovering, she's in convalescence, and I'm treating her. But she's kicked back, and she's got her own water, food source, got a little hotel room, like a mini house, and she's enjoying jazz music. So I got a jazz chicken. So the other one, hell, I ain't got but one cage. I can't separate two of them, so I ain't going to put both them chickens in the same cage. That ain't going to go well. I don't think it will. So I stood in the cage yesterday with a fly swatter, and I watched to see who's picking at whose ass, and I narrowed it down to one of two, and I think I've got it figured out. It's just one Australorp. His name is Larry. Larry Lou is her name. Larry Lou. You listen to that, Larry Kirksey? The chicken named Larry Lou is a problem. Yep. If y'all listen to this on podcast, you're not watching it. I just took a sip of coffee. That's what that pause was. So, I'm going to put the pictures right there. There you go. That's nasty looking, ain't it? Dang. I mean, look at that. Golly. Who would want to look at that all day? Yep. That's a nasty chicken ass right there. So you can see both of them. So I'm treating it, and we'll see what happens. Laura asked me this morning before she left, she goes, what are you going to do if you've got it figured out it's just that one, chicken that's causing all this problem? I said, I'll kill it. She goes, kill it? I go, yeah, I'll kill it. I mean, damn, I ain't going to have one chicken basically get the other two so damn sick, start no diseases and all this other illnesses. I'll kill the damn thing. They're just chickens. I like them, but they're chickens. I don't forget that. Jasper was a rooster. Hence I killed his ass and I ate him. So we ate him. So she said, what's that word you call it? I call cull. I'm going to cull her ass. So anyway, all right, that's enough about the chickens. And if anybody out there in this great world of podcasts and YouTube video thing, if you know a solution to my problem, talk to me. Send me an email, send me a text. I don't care. So anyway, you can gladly send me. My email address is jf.daniel08@gmail.com. Yep, sure can. All right, enough about the chickens. So I told y'all that Miss Laura was, she didn't hit the road. I'm looking up. All right. So there's a couple things I'm going to talk about. And this is going to be a little bit of politics, but news updates. This was an interesting article I read this morning on the news. But, and this is indicative, I guess is the word, a sign of the times. But in Miami, Florida, there is a long-time conservative, in Miami, believe that, but a conservative radio station, Spanish language radio station down in Miami, Florida. And today is their last day on the air. They're done. It was a Spanish-speaking conservative radio station in Miami, Florida. And they're done. And you may say, well, why? Because a group that is directly linked to George Soros, that communist bastard, bought them, took it over. Yep. So it was called Radio Mambi, Radio Mambi. Anyway, and it's considered to be long connected to Miami's Cuban exile community and known for its anti-communist programming. Anyway, it got bought out. It got purchased. So, and there was another Spanish-speaking station in Miami. And all this happened in 2002. They all got bought out. And at the time, many conservatives, especially the right-leaning Hispanics, who knew and know what communism is, they appreciate America. They appreciate the land of liberty. They appreciate the land of opportunity, freedom, justice, law and order, all that. So that only voice of Miami, Florida is now done today because George Soros and his damn communist movement in America. I don't wish nobody bad. I wished he'd go away. And his son, I wish they'd go away. They serve no good for humanity. None. They're communists. So that's pretty damn sad, man. Pretty sad. The only conservative, right-leaning, Spanish-speaking radio station, which was all about anti-communist. These folks knew what they were talking about. They lived it. They've done it. And now they're gone. So, anyway, I don't know what to say. It's pathetic. It's what it is. It's pathetic. I'm going to tell y'all right now. I'm going to tell you before I even finish my podcast and this YouTube recording is America better wake up. You hear what I'm saying? America needs to wake up because I'm telling you, I know this for a fact. Somebody going to say, how are you going to prove it? I can't, but I'm going to tell you right now, I believe in my heart, so it's not factual. I guess it's a belief. I believe it to the core, and I pray about this. But if America does not do a turnaround, America's going to fall to communism. Sure is. Yep. There's a lot of people on the radio and TV talking about, oh, is there a civil war coming? I won't say there's a civil war. I will say this. There will be, and I don't know if it'll be in my lifetime, so I'm being somewhat prophetic here, but there will be a conflict. You can call it a war if you want, but there will be a bloody armed conflict in North America. It's coming. It will be between good and evil. That's who it's going to be between, good and evil. So, but teach your children, be aware. Don't fall for the woke and the socialism and the communism. That's the evil part. Stand for what's good and right and just. Keep God number one. Okay, so the second thing I want to talk about is pretty pathetic. And you know, this is about the Michigan football coach, Sharon Moore. That boy's in a world of damn trouble. But you know what? He's just another poster child and a perfect example of a culture who can't keep their Peter in their britches. That's what my daddy would say. Well, you need to learn to keep your Peter in your britches. And I'm going to tell you what, right now, I know this to be true. Now, when you're a young man, now this guy is 39 years old. He knows better. He's married and got 3 children. He knows better. But when you're young, you know, high school and maybe into your mid-20s or whatever, yeah, you got a lot of hormones jumping around and you want to fornicate a lot. I get it. I like sex just as much as the next person. But at some point in your life, you realize that, you know, you need to have a moral beacon. And if anybody's wondering what the gyro is that keeps your moral beacon on focus and online, it's called God. Accepting Lord and Jesus Christ as your Savior. And a man that can't keep his Peter in his britches is not a godly man. He's godless. Damn near demonic. But, you know, he's a university football coach. And they're going to find out, this is not the first time. That's what they're going to do. They're going to find out this is not the first time. This old boy's had this pattern before. And I'm going to tell y'all a story. And when I say God's honest truth, it's like everything else before was a lie. I'm going to tell y'all a story that's hard to believe, but it's the truth. When I was a command mass chief in a fighter attack squadron in Jacksonville, Florida, and I may have shared this before, and this was probably in 1998, 1999, somewhere around there, 98 or 99. And as the command master chief in a squadron, you deal with a lot of people issues. And we had this one sailor in the squadron who shares the same culture background of this Michigan football coach. And I even had a sailor in my division on the Roosevelt who also shared the same culture, experience, and background as this guy. And I'll just say his name was Henry. And he had multiple children from multiple women. And he'd never been married in his life. And when it come payday, this is back when you used to get a check, but when it come payday, literally, I ain't shitting you, had to have somebody, a petty officer first class, go to dispersing with him, escort his ass to legal, and then turn around and go to the post office and buy multiple money orders so he could pay all the alimony and child support and all these other women's issues. And at payday, he didn't have damn two nickels to rub together because he couldn't keep his Peter in his pants. You know, if your life is consumed by sex, you got a problem. You got a problem. And I don't know what to tell you other than you have an addiction or something. I don't know what it is. I don't know. I'm not a psychologist. But you can't keep your damn Peter in your britches. You got a problem. You know. So anyway, so the football coach is in a world of shit, and evidently they're finding out more about his lover and all this crap. And then I guess she was on the staff, and then she gets promoted, and which now you got favoritism and fraternization, and then when he gets fired, then he's suicidal, and then he's over at somebody's house with a knife and all this other crap. Like, you idiot. You're an idiot. So, good. They should put your ass in jail for a long time, and I feel sorry for your wife and kids. I don't know what to say. That was another cup of coffee. All right. So let me see. Where am I? Get over here. Make sure I'm still recording. Yep, I am. All right. So let me see. And here's something else. This is something else. Evidently, there is a award-winning musician turned congressional candidate. Never heard of him. Don't care. But I saw it was a headline, and I thought, well, I got to read this. That's like the other day I saw a headline that said something to the effect, man dies from kidney transplant from donor who rescued kitten from rabid skunk. And I thought, well, who the hell wrote that byline? Think about that. Man dies following a kidney transplant from a donor who rescued a kitten from a rabid skunk. Evidently, this guy's body was a organ donor, and 3 different organs got taken from this dead body, and the guy died, and I guess they didn't test it for rabies because they said that's not likely. And the damn guy died of freaking rabies. And they take his organs and put it in 3 people's bodies, and damn, that dude died. You can't make that up. So I guess the moral of the story is if you get a body part donated, you might want to say, hey, did you check that old bad boy for some rabies? Anyway, I would not take a body part from a liberal. If somebody says, well, Mr. Daniels, you got to have a blank blank, I go, is it coming from a liberal? And they say, yeah. I go, I don't want it. So there. It's pretty extreme. I get it. But anyway, so this guy, he's an award-winning musician turned congressional candidate. Bobby, I don't speak Spanish. Polito, how's that? Has a digital footprint of references to explicit material that lingers on his social media as he pursues a seat in the U.S. House of Representatives. Says from 2013 to 2014, he posted a range of links, images, and references to porno. Okay, here we are. Another problem. He ain't godly. He's dealing in pornography. Whether you're gambling, pornography, alcohol, drugs, whatever. I think they call them vices. Yeah, when you worship things that are not godly and they're not God, then you're going to get what you get. So in 2013, he told, I don't know what he was telling folks, but anyway, it says in 2013, he told viewers to visit some pornographic website, and I'm not going to give them the liberty to mention what I saw here. I've never heard of it, but it's there. If you're bored and reposted links, anyway, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, seriously? Now, I'm going to be honest with y'all. I've been honest with you before. I've had a lot of people say, Jerry Daniels, you ought to run for Congress. Jerry Daniels, you ought to run for Senate. If I was to run, first of all, and I would do it. I ain't got the money. I done told y'all. I ain't got the money. I'd damn sure do it. I'd do it for one term, Congress or Senate. I'd do it for one term. But if I did it, you all know as well as I do, they're going to start pulling up everything I ever posted, and it ain't going to go well. It ain't going to go well. Why? Because I'm truthful. I'm forthright. I'm honest. Yep. I'll call a spade, man. Yep, sure will. So I probably wouldn't make a good politician. Probably wouldn't. Y'all remember when them idiots, the squad, AOC, and the mother frickin' socialists, when they got elected and they went to their orientation, and what did they do? They're social media influencers is what they are. They're running around in the damn halls of Congress, and they got their little cameras, and they're going, we're going to find out where so-and-so works. Yeah, I'd do something like that. You get me elected? Yep. You think Fetterman dresses? If I got elected to Senate, I wear blue jeans, boots, probably wear a ball cap, and I wear a lot of ball caps. Just a standard shirt. And I know Ted Cruz would be pissed off. I know Mr. Kennedy would be pissed off. I know Mr. Cotton would be pissed off. I know Mr. Jordan would be pissed off. I know all of them. Mr. Laudermilk. What's the guy's name? Clyde. Clyde would be pissed off. A lot of them. They dress in tie and all that kind of stuff. Yep. My standard work day will be just standard work clothes. And I wouldn't give a damn about what any of them sons of bitches say. I'd go up there to serve the people. So if I was the senator of the state of Georgia, I'm not saying I'm running because I'd break some law or something. But if I were running, I got to sneeze. I can feel it coming, man. Here it comes. Oh, man, that's what you do when you bring in the chicken coop. Excuse me. So anyways, if I was to run for Senate, I wouldn't lose focus. I work for the people. I'm being paid by the people. I'm here to serve the people. All the people. ALL. All the people. And you know what? God would be my number one beacon. And I would just ask myself everything I do and say. Is this righteous? Is it good for America? Is it good for Georgia? Simple as that. So if I went in there broke, I'd leave probably broker because you got to live in D.C. Which brings me to another topic. Well, no, I'm going to get there. I'll get there. All right. I was watching the news this morning as I was eating my breakfast, and even Fox News. But anyway, I was watching the news this morning, and you know that what's that guy's name? Tyler Robinson. He's the sorry sack of crap that, I have to use the word, allegedly assassinated Charlie Kirk in public. He's the guy, allegedly. And this whole thing now has already turned into a frickin' three-ring circus. You know, and they've got his wife, Miss Kirk. I don't know her first name. Erica Kirk, I think's her name. She's in the news. She was on several talk shows or radio shows or TV shows, podcasts, whatever. But they were talking to her, and but it's turned into a three-ring circus, and that's pretty damn shame. And you know what? If somebody's watching that and they go, I can't wait to find out what happens next, I feel sorry for you. But I'm going to tell you what I think about it. I don't give a damn. And the big thing right now is, should they allow cameras in the courtroom? Who the F cares? I don't care. You know, they got judges like, well, the public shouldn't see him in shackles. Who cares? I don't care. I don't care at all. Well, it may influence the jury. Okay. Yeah, he's the guy that's been charged with a crime. Yeah, murder in the first degree. And they're all up there, and they got, well, we have an interest in it, and we think cameras should be in there. And then Miss Kirk got involved, which I would, she ain't gonna listen to me, but I would have told her. I said, man, don't even entertain that shit. People ask you that question, just say, I don't care. What difference does it make? That's the guy that allegedly, if I was her, I wouldn't use the word allegedly because you don't have to. I'd say that's the son of a bitch that shot and killed my husband. That's the sorry piece of crap that took my damn husband and my girl's daddy. But nope. Now it's going to be, it's in this trial, just like that other idiot that assassinated that man in front of, just walking on the street. He was an insurance guy. The guy walked up there and he just assassinated him. And now they're like, oh, well, the police searched his backpack illegally. Man, that's a bunch of bull. And they talked to him for 3 to 5 minutes before they read him his rights. Well, maybe they didn't know if that was him or not. You don't start a conversation during an investigation or a response to a call. Hi there, Mr. Johnson. You got the right to remain silent, and then just see what happens after that. No, that's not the way it works. No. So anyway, bunch of bullshit. But anyway, so now all the crap in the news about this piece of crap who shot Charlie Kirk is whether cameras should be in the courtroom. It's a circus. So, all right. This also just went viral yesterday. And there's a woman. She's a Kentucky Democrat. A Democrat, imagine that. And she was in some hearing, and this woman leans into the microphone, and she shares with the group, and I'm just going to read it. She shares to the group, I'm going to be honest. Her name is Representative Sarah Stalker, Stalker, Stalker. Damn, I'd hate to have that name. Anyway, she says, and I quote, I'm going to be honest. I don't feel good being white. I don't feel good about being white every day for a lot of reasons. She was responding to comments from Republican State Senator Lindsey Smithfield, who represents a draft on a bill on DEI programs in case. So anyway, evidently this Republican person, Lindsey Smithfield, who represented a draft of a bill to end the DEI programs, which I'm all about. There should be no diversity, equity, whatever it is. None of that shit. That's bullshit. It's nothing but racism, socialism, and it's bullshit. That's what it is. But this idiot, this woman, this Kentucky Democrat, says, I don't feel good about being white every day. Well, I would look at her, I go, well, what days do you feel good about being white? What days is that? I don't know. Share with us. Do tell. Freaking idiot. Ting, hit her in the head with a frying pan. There's no words to describe that. So she's just butt stupid. And girl, all I can tell you is you better get your head on right. Because the fact that you actually say, I don't feel good about being white. What's wrong with being white? What's wrong with being black? What's wrong with being red? What's wrong with being yellow? What's wrong with having round eyes, slant eyes? What's wrong with it? No, you've been programmed and indoctrinated by the left. And you know what? If you have this white shame thing going on, that's your fault. You're dumber than dirt. So, oh well. All right, so my last thing I'm going to talk about, because I'm already at 33 minutes, I got a lot to do today, is, well, actually two things. One is our President Donald J. Trump, and our Secretary of War, and Schumer couldn't even say it. He said the Secretary, and then Schumer, who has zero leadership skills, he's forgotten why he's there. But Chuck Schumer is coming out of the meeting where he got briefed on all the boat attacks of those terrorists that are bringing drugs to America, and he refers to Pistol Pete. That's what I call our Secretary of War, Pistol Pete Hegseth. Get him, Pete. Keep it up, buddy. Lock and load. Nuke them till they glow. I don't care. But anyway, he calls him, and the Secretary, the Secretary of Defense. So that right there proves the lack of maturity and leadership skills that Chuck Schumer has. He's failed miserably in his duty and responsibilities. There is a chain of command, and that's what a lot of members in Congress and the Senate have forgotten. Granted, you're a separate branch of government, but your president, Chuck, your president, and our president's cabinet, his administration, they changed the name back to what it used to be, the Department of War. You're so self-righteous and self-centered, you lack the basic leadership skills and fellowship. And you can't even stand up there and say, well, our Secretary of War said you can't do it. And that's just pathetic. You are absolutely pathetic. So Chuck comes out and he's talking about, well, yeah, we saw it and I'm not satisfied. Well, too bad. So our president and our administration, our guy in charge of our military, the Department of War, Pistol Pete. Yep, they ain't holding nothing back. This is the reason I voted for him. They ain't holding nothing back. So we've got these drug running boats rushing to America, coming out of Venezuela, bringing their poison to kill Americans. And you know what? I'm all about it. Y'all got the intel, and y'all think that's a drug boat? Blow some bitch out of the water. And if the first round don't do it, it don't matter if there's people going, oh my God, they're out there swimming and they're trying to get back to whatever the wreckage left. Pop it again with another missile. Guess what? Remember I talked about this the other day. Anybody that says what everybody says and everybody believes, I don't know what everybody says. I don't know what everybody believes. But I tell you what I believe, I don't care. And I'm going to tell you something else I believe. I don't believe most common sense Americans give a shit if you hit the boat with one missile or two. You know what? Drug smuggling is a hazardous occupation. And and get this, the liberals say this. They'll say, because when a police officer or a military person or like those people in the National Guard that was assassinated in the street, we had that other idiot on the news goes, an unfortunate incident. Yeah, bullshit. Yeah, if that would have been your family member, your wife or your daughter serving in the National Guard, standing there, taking your orders, doing your duty, and you're there to defend free citizens from crime. That's what you're doing. You're protecting citizens because the damn crime rate in D.C. is so bad. And a guy travels from Washington State all the way to Washington, D.C. He's a Muslim. He's an Islamic. And he assassinates, he tries to kill two people. I know one of them for a fact died. The girl did. I don't know about the guy. And some representative in the House says it was an unfortunate incident. I'm like, really? So let's stand your wife on the corner and let somebody, or your mama, let somebody come around the corner and put a damn cap in her ass in the back of her head, blow her brains out, and then I'm going to look at you and say, well, I'm sorry, sir, that was an unfortunate incident. Yeah, he'd feel differently. But he's a liberal. He's a socialist, and he's a racist. I'll say all three of them. You can tell the way he acts. Anyway, got to where the hell I was. Anyway, so, man, brain fart. So they're, man, I'm totally lost, y'all. I'm lost for words. I done lost my train of thought. Damn, I took off. I shouldn't have gone there, but I did. Anyway, I'll come back to it. But, the fishing boat thing. So yeah, and I say fishing boat because did you see the reporter? She was obviously not an American citizen, but she's a reporter, and she's interviewing one of the congressional members in the halls of Congress, and she leans over and she almost whispers, but she's got a little microphone, and she says, if the president and his people, I'm paraphrasing, but if the president and his people can take down a huge oil tanker off the coast, out in international waters, but they can take down a huge oil tanker who was smuggling oil, or anyway, I don't know all the details, and I don't care. And without killing anybody, don't you think they can take those fishing boats without killing anybody? And the guy looks at her and he goes, what are you talking about? She goes, those fishing boats, they blow up? He goes, those aren't fishing boats. They're drug boats. He goes, they're not fishermen. They're drug smugglers. She's like, well, yeah, but they were like, what are you talking about? So, just the same people in this country, who say George Floyd was just a great citizen and he should be memorialized and let's build monuments. The same people that hands up, don't shoot. The same people who said all the rioting in Minnesota, all the rioting in Portland and California, wherever else, was all peaceful. The same people who cannot look you or me in the eye and tell us the difference between a man and a woman. Those same people are all of a sudden an expert on a damn fishing boat. I would have looked at her. I said, well, darling, I don't think them boats had any fishing poles or fishing nets. And how many boats you've seen carrying hundreds and hundred gallons of chemicals used to make narcotics, hauling ass as fast as they can in open water. You know much about fishing? Yeah, those are the same damn people. So, all right, 40 minutes. And the last thing I want to talk about briefly is Omar, whatever her name is. That's one ugly woman. That's all I can tell you. She's a criminal. And I actually think the feds are going to get her ass. I do. And I hope they do. I have lived in this country. Well, I've been a U.S. citizen for 63 years. I was born here. My mom and daddy owned a little grocery store. I'd be glad to show Miss Omar my Social Security statement. And I would love to put mine right next to hers and say, I've been working and paying taxes since I was 10 years old. Yep. I enlisted in the Navy when I was 17. I served my country for 26 years. I got out of the Navy. I retired and then got an occupation, went back to school. And I've tried to do right. For my family, for my God, for my community. I'm not perfect. I got kinks in my armor, but I try to do right. And I don't have a lot. That's the reason I don't stand a chance for running no Congress or Senate. Why? Because I don't have millions of dollars. I don't know if I told y'all or not, but I considered running for Congress back when Marjorie Taylor Greene was starting to get in there and Clyde Turner. Is it Clyde Turner? I forget. It's funny, man. I just call him Clyde. I don't know. It's not Clyde Turner. That's somebody else. Anyway, Andrew Clyde. There we go. Andrew Clyde. Congressman Andrew Clyde. Who, he doesn't know me, but I know him. And we've met several times. And he's a Navy vet. But I don't have the money. And I met with this political analyst. And then we met at a coffee shop. And 3 hours later, I walked out of there thinking, damn, how does anybody do this? Because you got to have a lot of people that believe in you, trust you, that's got an ass load of money. And that's a shame. That's a shame. Because basically what he told me is just to get into the primaries. Not the general. He said, you're going to need about $75 or $90,000 just to print the material you need to run all your ads and your campaigns. I'm like, that's almost $100,000. Are you serious? He goes, yeah. Yep. All right, well, count me out. I don't have that. And I'll never have that. So I've tried to do right, and I'm not the smartest financial guy. It's not like I learned a lot during life about financing and savings and investments and stuff. I'm way behind the power curve. And I just hope, Laura and I are both 63, but I hope when we're in our show enough age years, like in our 70s and maybe God bless us if we live to be in our 80s. Laura probably will. I won't. Statistically, I just won't. But I hope we live comfortable to then and continue to be a good citizen and a good neighbor. But this gal, Omar, whose daddy, as my understanding was an exile. Her and her whole family were exiled out of Somalia. Somalia is a absolute shithole nation. It is a sand flea infested crop of criminals. They have zero moral beacon. They don't know anything called righteous and just. They don't know that. They know kill, cheat, eat, steal, lie, and breed. And they have no allegiance or anything. Nothing. They're absolutely savages. They're savages. And I'm not being racist. I'm just telling the truth. They're savages. So she comes here, exiled from some country, and my understanding is she used to participate in some pretty bad stuff that required her to carry an AK-47. And she comes here, and apparently she ain't got damn two nickels rubbed together. But where does she come to? She goes to where all the rest of the Somalis are. And I'm like, well, how did she win? How did all these immigrants who are not U.S. citizens, how did they register, and then how do they vote for her? How do they do that? Great question. But in a short period of time, folks, we're talking 6 years. She's managed to be married and divorced, I think, 3 times, once to her own brother, and mass up over $33 million. How does that happen? She came from Somalia, didn't have much, but she comes to America, and within 6 years, she's married, divorced 3 times, once to her own brother, and now she's got a mass of over $30-something million. And people wonder why. Sometimes you just want to toss in a towel and go, F it. What's the use? Because I'll own it, I sit back and watch the likes of her, and I'm thinking, you know what? I used to cut meat with a man named Joe Barfield. He was a Vietnam vet. And I'm sure he's not alive today. At least I don't think he would be. And Joe Barfield used to look at me and sometimes, and he would tell me stories. And I was just a young man, so I was being influenced by our older man. And I'm not saying he was right, but I'm going to tell you what he said, and he said it a lot. He goes, good guys don't win. Good guys finish last. Now, he was talking worldly. He was not talking from a spiritual sense, because I don't believe that. I believe good guys, and we do win. We win because we enter the house of kingdom of God. And the game is not played here. It's our salvation. But he used to say that a lot. Yep. He goes, yep, good guys don't win, Jerry. Good guys finish last. If you're going to play the game and play by the rules, he goes, you're not going to win. You're not going to win. Because you know why? There's a lot of people that have no desire to follow the rules, and they don't care about you. They don't care about right. They don't care about anything. He goes, that's who you're gonna grow up, and you're gonna be around a lot of people like that. I said, well, okay, Mr. Joe, thank you. So that's all I got, folks. I don't know what the future of this country holds, but I tell you what, I feel sorry. I do. I pray for them too. I feel sorry for my children and my grandchildren as to what they're going to have to watch and endure, because they don't seem to be attuned to the reality of the evil that's in this world. So that's it. Okay. Well, remember, if you know anything about Chicken Gleet, I think that's what they call it, or the problem of cannibalism, I got to get this under control. If not, my chicken flock is going to be reducing. And this is not what I was hoping to have. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, God bless y'all, man. Thank y'all for listening. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. Anybody that's on the YouTube or podcast. But I ask you, and I'm asking that you like, you share, you subscribe, and all that, and get other folks to watch it. And Christy, I love you, darling. I hope you're still doing well. With the loss of your best friend. And I'll do that show. I don't know when I'm going to do it. It may be next year, but I'll do the show about how I met my wife the first time, the second time, and then what kind of transpired during that 5 years. I was a young man and had a lot of hormones jumping around, but it was 5 years before we got married. and then we got married. So that's it, folks. I hope y'all have a blessed day, blessed week. What's the day? Today's the 12th. And we've got, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 shopping days. I guess it's 12. 7. If I do the math, that's 7. Yeah, not counting today. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 shopping days left for Christmas. So, God is good. God is great. Mike Coker, where have you been? Bicycle.